geographically. Good to see Desi Mercer here. I suppose she'd be the ideal mixed pairs partner for Dave Chisnell.
45.
Yeah, Desi Rascal and Chizzy Rascal. Nicely done, Paul.
Vicky's been around a long time. Very well respected. I suppose she's like the lady equivalent of Alan Norris. He's been a bit everywhere, and so has Vicky Pruim.
Yeah, well, you can see from the dart setup when she comes back to the hockey.
100.
A set of darts that look like they came straight out of the IKEA catalogue. But she is representing Sweden here, but her nickname is Antwerp Lightning.
43.
Because in a time in Belgium, one of her old practice and pairs partners said that lightning strikes when you least expect it, which is a feature of her game.
It's a very interesting story,
43.
actually. You look at the setup of Desi Mercer, though, everything's pretty much black, which pretty much it sums up New Zealand, doesn't it? All black.
69.
You love a bit of New Zealand, don't you? We had a good time in Auckland once.
Don't mention the fishing trip.
That was in Perth, you're all right. Did you just go full on Gavin and Stacey with me?
That trip will not be talked about. Don't try and take me there. Perth, New Zealand, wherever it was. Let's get back to this one.
43.
Vicky Pruim, a winner of 17 WDF ranking titles. She also won the World Cup singles as well.
That's without a doubt the biggest title of her career. Won it in Japan.
66.
The same weekend that Jeff Smith won the World Cup singles for the men.
And you mentioned those WDF ranked events
40.
over in New Zealand and Australia. Well, Mercer has 9 of those to her name.
That's not bad. We talked about Tori Kiosh a little bit earlier on this afternoon. She's won 23 of them. There's a lot to choose from in that part of the world. A lot of great talent to try and get through to get those titles.
The winner of this match to take on the number 8 seed, Lorraine Winstanley.
30.
In the second round, a former finalist here.
Desi require 138.
Yeah, speaking of Lorraine yesterday, she's on her way to the Lakeside as we speak.
She actually just passed me, Paul, on the way up here. So her and husband Dean have just arrived at the Lakeside.
54.
Here safely, job 1 accomplished.
And in time to watch the potential opponent in the next round. I wonder if that was calculated.
Now I see why
60.
they got here a bit early. Scout out the
84.
opponents.
84 then on offer for Desi Rascal. Can she fix it up? Well, opted against the bullseye shot because Pruim is not on any kind of outshots.
I think that was the right call, actually. Vicky hasn't found her range on that treble 20 yet with that prodding
60.
action. Now, Desi, after missing the single with her last dart, has now got to find an alternative single to leave that same double. Still can't find it, so 29 left. Options. Possibly a 13. She's got double 7. I think she might have miscounted there.
Yeah, she had to ask after, and you can see the smile there.
27.
Well, it's a good job she asked after that dart, to be fair, because we could have seen her take aim at the wrong double. But they say that Antwerp Lightning strikes when you least expect it. Not going to happen on this occasion.
81.
Seen some quizzical counting in this match so far, and we're only 95% of the first leg in. Double 7.
No score.
That doesn't work. And Pruim comes back for double 15.
30.
She left it. She went for the treble 20 to lead double 15.
Inside means she can't go
22.
out. Tidies up, leaves a more favourable finish. More favourable than the one she's just had, and more favourable than the one her opponent's got. She tried to split. She carried on splitting, but she's not hitting.
Vicky, you require
Nothing
8.
is going to plan so far. This leg should have been done and dusted.
I'll ask you a question when this leg finishes. Whenever that might be. Well, I'll ask you now, very quickly, after going outside trying to split on the 6 and staying there for the split, she's given herself a maximum of 1 dart at double. Surely she should have gone back down and hit for the double 7. She may have had 2 darts at double.
Yeah, I agree with that, actually. You can sense the nerves in this first leg of the contest from both players. Double 1.
No score.
That's as close as she's been to a double in this first leg as well.
Vicky, you require 8.
Nervy start. Mercer made all the running. Edging closer. And in.
Shot in the first leg. Vicky Pruim.
Gets the leg won, gets the job done, really.
Vicky to go first.
It was a race in which she had to unlap herself before then catching up and overtaking the opponent. And she now has the darts in leg 2.
That will definitely help the nerves. If you are Vicky Pruim, that's for sure.
45.
Mentioned 20 years ago, making that semi-final. A lot can happen in 20 years. We've already seen Ian Jones today have a much improved day after his first venture here in 2008.
85.
He lost out in the World Masters a few times and on this stage in the World Championship before getting that, what you would classify today as his best win of his career. Sometimes
81.
it doesn't happen on debut. It takes a bit of time.
That was Jo Clements you just saw in the crowd. Twinkle, who won her match against Suzanne Smith yesterday. A match that did have some real highlights.
I thoroughly enjoyed that game. I thought Jo Clements was excellent from 1 set to love down. Disappointed for
85.
Suzanne Smith. I think she's out purely because of the quality of her opponent. If she'd have played somebody else, she probably would have made it through.
Yeah, she played some decent stuff. Clements had a 1-2-3 finish on the bull.
24.
She missed tops for a 160. And there's another man who didn't have any success yesterday. A place where he's won 3 times, Martin Adams, and everybody is grateful that he stuck around so they can have their photo op
26.
with the great of the game.
He's waited plenty of time to come back here. He doesn't want to leave until the last dart is thrown. I'll have to shoehorn Wolfie out of here.
35.
He's going to join us tomorrow in the commentary box and with our presenter Lindsay. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, it would be good to get his thoughts on not just the tournament but his own future. Did some post-match stuff yesterday and he was questioning whether he'd actually
36.
appear in this World Championship again. Of course, we will see him here at the Lakeside for the World Seniors Championship, which is coming up very, very soon.
Behind Martin Adams,
41.
do you know who's been the second person for Lakeside appearances in its history?
Well, I'm sure you're about to tell me, so let's just cut to the chase, shall we?
Gary Robson. He's not in this championship. He will be watching at home.
26.
But behind Wolfie, the most appearances at this venue in a World Championship, Gary Robson of Northumberland.
I should just correct myself because Robert Thornton will give me a bang on the head if I don't.
84.
It's the World Seniors Masters that's happening at the Lakeside. Of course, Robert Thornton is the World Seniors Champion.
Yeah, we've seen people over the age of 50 do really well this week so far.
Well, his fellow Scot, Jim McEwen. In fact, we mentioned earlier that Jim McEwen's average in the first round was the 5th highest ever at the venue. And I told him about that. And you'd think it would be a response of excitement. And he responded 5th. I'll have to beat that next time.
Is that a mark of what he can
60.
do? You think about the people who have walked through these doors, who have failed to get a 3-figure average here. And then he pops up, first game, and gets one.
45.
Vicky's got a 1-3-1 left for a 2-0 lead. Just needs to steady the ship. Stay straight, that's lovely. And even though she misses the single there, you would fancy that she's going to come back for a look at that 44. At least it gives her options.
She will be back
97. Vicky, you require 44.
12 for double 16. Double 12 now.
20.
She hands an opportunity back to
Desi, you
Mercer.
require 60.
Got to be merciless here. Single 20. Now single 19. That leaves double 1. Wow, what a way to get 60 points.
Desi Mercer.
Who cares how you get it? Exhibition stuff from
Third
Desi
leg,
Rascal.
to throw first. Game
It's almost
on.
like she meant to do it.
It's the only way to go. The match is level, and I think that's probably fair. Both players breaking after some double trouble in the early exchanges.
100.
I do get the feeling, looking at the barrels being used by Desi Mercer, that they have travelled a fair distance in her career.
41.
Like a very old set. You were talking yesterday about Johnny Haynes. As we look at John Scott in the crowd. But you talked about Johnny Haynes having the same set of darts for over 30 years. And they whittled down from a certain weight by about 10 to 15
55.
grams, didn't they, in the end?
Yeah, he ended up going from 21 grams to 12, 13 and 15, I think. And he's ended up now throwing with a new set of darts that are 15 grams because he'd
45.
unwittingly become used to throwing that weight.
It's one of the dangers of using a set of darts for such a period of time. Yes, tungsten is one of the hardest metals on the planet, but it does still erode
45.
over time. And when they're constantly banging against each other, they will microscopically lose weight over time. That's why dart players tend to use around 3 or 4
31.
sets a year, just to try and keep the consistency of the weight throughout the season.
A reminder that tungsten time this evening is 7 p.m. The evening session, the final session of the first round, kicks off with Sean McDonald against Dave Parletti
24.
and ends with James Richardson against Sebastian Steyer, Mikuru Suzuki, Steve Hine and Connor Scott, all also on show this evening.
Who are you going for in that first match? Sean McDonald is dangerous.
45.
Well, I've just interviewed Sean McDonald actually ahead of tonight's match, and he seems so calm for a man who's about to make his debut on the Lakeside stage.
Yeah, I spoke to him yesterday and he was
95.
very at ease with the challenge. Having a practice on the board last night and felt really good. And we've both seen him in close quarters last year. He is capable of some very good
60.
stuff. Vicky Pruim is in danger of losing her advantage in this match. It was a somewhat unexpected 1-0 lead, but Desi Mercer starting to find her feet in the scoring stakes here.
$60.
Mercer down to a finish that requires just one treble, but well, I was about to say
135.
from nowhere near.
Desi, you require 122.
That might have made her mind up on the way that she would finish, but now she will have to go the treble 18 route.
118 left. Might still go for the 18s, and did. But the 18s have repelled her,
62.
but the 19s have not.
Vicky, you require 144.
I shall attempt to leave it as handy as possible because both players have missed darts
60.
at double in each leg.
Desi, you require 60.
Well, surely. Single 1. Yeah, it's the way to go. Treble 19. Oh, it's tops. Oh, it's
Game
brilliant.
short in the third leg.
She's
Desi
giving us a
Mercer.
masterclass in how to hit a
Fourth
60
leg, Vicky
checkout
to
slightly
first.
differently.
Game on.
Yeah, I give her a bit of discredit actually there because she did find double 1 at the first attempt in the previous leg, and she's now found tops immediately. She's only giving herself one dart at double, but it's all she needs. Having missed 8 darts at double in the very first leg of the match.
And I'm going to start going single 1 first on a 60 checkout. That is
45.
mind made up.
I mean, there are some shots when you can go for a certain shot, it doesn't come off, and you can pretend that you went for it, but I'm not sure that that one will catch on.
64.
I agree, but I like the unconventional. She won't care as long as she gets the first set. And scoring-wise, she is improving. It's a lot straighter than it was earlier on in the match.
$45.
It's fair to say that Vicky Pruim is not playing at her best level in this match. Even with all of her experience, maybe a bit of Lakeside nerves. It's been a bit of a leveler over the last 3 years since we were last here.
100.
Sometimes you get into a rhythm of being here once a year, possibly twice a year if there's another tournament held here. But because we're coming back after a period of time,
121.
might have a few more nerves than usual. It's better from Pruim though.
Yeah, out of nowhere. She did appear on the PDC Women's Series in 2020 and 2021. A couple of quarter-final runs in there.
60.
You think there's a bit more pressure on the ladies now
23.
with them getting more slots in certain tournaments? More pressure to succeed maybe with the looking at the future of this game, saying these are the foundations that we're laying for the next bunch of girls coming through.
26.
I think there is a danger of putting too much pressure on themselves to perform to ensure that these opportunities remain and indeed carry on coming.
I think it's a very good point.
60.
Especially with the increased prize money this week.
Desi require
They may feel
170.
more pressure to say that it's warranted. Well, it is warranted.
Well, it'll be worth the prize money alone if she takes this out. But that's not going to happen, so Pruim will come back. Looking at 88.
100.
Paying no attention to anything
Vicky
that her
require
opponent does
88.
before she attempts this checkout. 18s. And the ball. In the ball.
Good
What a
shot
shot that is for Vicky
Pruim.
Pruim. And I said that lightning comes when you least expect it.
Fifth leg, Desi.
And she certainly
first.
struck there.
Game on.
And maybe it will just shock her opponent a little bit. Because I don't know about you, Paul, but I didn't see that coming.
I didn't either. I thought Desi was going to get a look at that 70. Again, the beauty of set play. Things have changed.
11.
And not the best start to leg number 5. Strong dart shirt game from both ladies, though.
What a time to turn it on here.
81.
If you had to choose between these two shirts, if you were going out for the night, which one would you choose?
I'd stay in.
I'm a fan of the Kiwi shirt. I've been playing against the Kiwis for Australia for
85.
many a year. I played in a Tri-Nations test match between South Africa, Australia, and back in 2008. And the Kiwis always had good dart shirts.
44.
Talking to a man who used to be the sharpest dressed on the hockey.
I heard that rumour. It was so untrue.
Appear in a tie at one point, shirt and tie.
Yeah, I've got too hot on stage for that. I was never as sharp as Steve beating the 96 champ.
76.
Always got a good focus as Vicky Pruim.
60.
She's going to need it in this match. When you're not playing at your best, you've got to remain focused. Don't allow the misses to metastasize the negativity that is just festering under your skin.
95.
Well, we've said it before and we'll say it again this week, but fifth legs are always the important ones.
60.
And it's nip and tuck in this first set decider. Mercer hanging on to the advantage with throwing first, but only very slightly.
Just hanging on to the 20s there.
60.
Gets 3 of them. A lot of people might have utilised the 19s and the bull to try and leave a finish there, but she was stubbornly sticking on the 60 attempt, which Pruim gets 2 off.
Yeah, that's the first 140 of the match and couldn't have come at a better time for Pruim.
60. Vicky require 116.
Can barely separate them in this first set. Must find that 60 here. I think she has. Double 18.
80.
Set dart missed.
Desi require 114.
Does Desi get a set dart? No, she won't. The chance has disappeared just as quickly as it came. And Vicky Pruim will return with 3 in hand
36.
to take the opening set.
Vicky require
Put herself
36.
halfway to the checkered flag.
Game
And
shot in the
Pruim
first
pins it.
set.
And look what it means to her.
Something that's inside that you just want to get out.
And she comes into the event in decent enough form as well. She reached the semi-finals at the Isle of Man Open just under a month ago, and also the quarter-finals at the Isle of Man Classic
140.
that weekend.
It's a steady weekend at an event that really does get a lot of attendees.
And she was beaten by Bo Greaves, who is one of the favourites for this tournament.
Who hasn't been beaten by Bo Greaves recently?
40.
She your favourite for the ladies' title?
I've been plumping for Mikuru Suzuki personally, but I do think it's a really exciting event. Maybe not quite as open as the men's, but certainly 4 or 5 players that people are saying can win the tournament.
When Mikuru Suzuki won this title for the first time in 2019,
45.
the effect of her winning this title, has it been felt yet? Or has the pandemic stopped that momentum?
Yeah, it's an interesting point.
55.
Don't forget, Suzuki almost became the first woman to win at the Alexandra Palace before Fallon Sherrick did it in the very same tournament. In fact, she was on a double to beat James Richardson, who we will see in the match straight after hers tonight. Might have a few
60.
nightmare flashbacks about sharing the practice room with Mikuru.
Yeah, that's an interesting practice room dynamic for sure. He really did get tested that night by Mikuru.
100.
And all of the things we've talked about with Fallon could have been by the way of magical Mikuru. Wasn't meant to be. But Pruim has started so much better at the start of set 2 than she did at the start of set 1.
Vicky, you require 96.
Fancy her for the 96, you know, Paul, the way she's playing. I think she's going to get it.
78.
It happens now and again. Commentator's curse on that shot, but she's coming back for double 9.
I didn't say in how many darts.
You've always got an out, haven't you, Murph?
Well, her out is 18 when she returns, and then a choice to be made. Straight for it, or will she split it?
Vicky, you require 18.
Straight for it. Now she splits. Now
No
she misses.
score.
Well, still, Mercer may as well be back in New Zealand in the context of this leg.
60. Vicky, you require 18.
Same plan. Same eye movement towards the northwest corner.
Game shot in the first leg.
Different
Vicky
result.
Pruim.
Now within 2 of the next round.
Second leg, Desi to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, it just does look like she's starting to find her feet and stretch her lead, increase her dominance in
70.
this match. And there is the Muffin Man, who will be supplying treats for the crowd, we're reliably informed this evening.
Yeah,
and then he's going to play a game of darts.
What type? Blueberry, chocolate?
66.
Get it right, Steve. I hope you're going to ask those people for their allergen information before you hand them out. Well, I'm looking forward later to watching 2 more ladies play. And
55.
I think this tournament this week is about seeing new talent for the first time. I haven't seen Desi Mercer play before, and I haven't seen Paula Murphy play, or Veronika Ihas
60.
of Hungary. Be interested to see what happens there, because the winner of that one does play Bowgreaves.
Yeah, Murphy has won plenty of titles in America. That's the second match on this evening. Before that, Dave Parletti against Sean McDonald in the men's tournament. Then Connor Scutt, much fancied, takes on the Canadian
140.
Sean Burt. Then it will be the Muffin Man, Steve Hine, facing another American in Kevin Luke. Before Turner meets Suzuki,
81.
James Richardson signs off the first round with his meeting with Poland's Sebastian Steyer.
What's your thoughts about Turner against Suzuki later? Because obviously Suzuki is fully focused on what she does on the dartboard, but Laura's been doing a lot of media work, hasn't she, the last couple of years?
50.
Yeah, well, obviously, as someone who thinks Makuru is very likely to go on and win the tournament, I expect her to win that match. However, Laura Turner is a player who, when she's on, she can give anybody a game. She's just not on as often as the likes of Dieter, Makuru, Lisa Ashton, Fallon Sherrick.
I suppose the good thing is she has played here once before, so she has got the early nerves out the way when it comes to having your debut. It didn't go to plan, but Makuru, it has to be said, Murph, I don't want to divert away from this game too much, but something that people seem to forget as Pruim goes for a 174 potentially, or a 162.
162.
Oh, Anthony's going to be furious it wasn't at 174.
But she was furious that you were diverting attention away from the game. She thought I've had enough of Paul talking about something else.
Well played, Vic.
Going to make him talk about me.
Yeah, Suzuki has never lost on this stage.
Vicky Uruguayer 32.
Pruim then, after the sublime setup shot, now needs double 12, and now can't finish. It is
20.
from the sublime to the ridiculous.
Desi Uruguayer 96.
We were talking about a ladies' game yesterday being fun and mental. That was a little bit unfun for Vicky Pruim. That's 60, double 18 for Desi.
78.
Almost.
That would have
Vicky
been very
Uruguayer
rascal-like,
12.
wouldn't it, to steal that leg? Pruim having had a hit and then a miss. Can she hit? Double 3.
6.
Well, we're back to where we were at the start of the game now.
Desi Uruguayer 18.
Here we are. Double 9 has been hit in this match by Pruim. Can Desi find double 9 as well? Now it's double 3 each.
Game
Great
shot, the
shot.
second leg.
It's
Desi
1-1.
Mercer. Third leg, Vicky to throw first. Game on.
Desi does it. Getting a bit sticky for Vicky.
Oh, just look in the background there at Desi Mercer and that huge smile at hitting an 18 check out of double 3. Never part of the plan. But she got it. I just love the relaxed nature of the Kiwis. Yesterday at Hopai Pua, walked onto that stage like he was just walking down to the beach. Unfortunately, he was told to eject from the beach because nothing went to plan. There was a shark attack for him yesterday.
Yeah, it didn't happen for him at all. And he did start to... That confident swagger did start to drain out of his body, didn't it, during the match? But just going back to the women's tournament, the draw is particularly heavy in that top half, and this is where this pair are. The winner taking on Lorraine Winstanley. The winner of that match taking on either Dieter Hedman or Tori Kewish. Also, Laura Turner, Makuru Suzuki, Aileen de Graaf in the top half of the draw, and
24.
Bo Greaves, many people's favourite.
It is heavily stacked at the top. Makes for a really interesting bottom half, though, because someone's going to have possibly the tournament of their career today. You look at Rhiannon O'Sullivan against Corinne Hammond. That's a great game.
Yeah, a lot of people are
60.
thinking whoever wins that one goes on to reach the final, although there are many players who will have something to say about that, particularly Kirsty Hutchinson, who I think may be a dark horse to have a run.
You're the second person to say that to me today, Murph. Interesting. A lot of people not talking about Anka Zylstra. I think Kirsty Hutchinson against Joe Clements is a very good game, very evenly matched. Desi on 3.55 here has taken the 5 off the end, but then has put it back.
Well, she needs to find all the superpowers to turn this around. That's Superman and Robin.
100.
It was Robin. Yeah, they're not supposed to be together.
Yeah, they
Robin's cheating on Batman.
need to coordinate better.
There's a line I didn't think I was going to say today. Robin's cheating on Batman. Or as they say in Kiwi land, Bitman.
Always a joker, Paul.
Such a big fan of the Kiwi accent.
121.
Absolutely lovely accent. I miss going back to New Zealand.
It is one of the things that has remained the same here at the Lakeside.
Desi, you require
The crowd have
154.
put in some good efforts with the fancy dress.
Needs a treble at some point in this visit, you feel. Doesn't
60.
get one. And Vicky's surely going
Vicky, you
19s
require
first here.
119.
She has ambitions of winning this one by 2 sets to love. 60 for tops. Not going to go. Could well be
40.
advantage. Desi.
Desi, you require 94.
Which way does she fancy? Treble 18 or the bullseye? Now treble 20. Would have left a double 8.
61 left. There's plenty of options here. Maybe treble 7, 25, or maybe a treble 15. 25 will do.
58. Vicky, you require 79.
Just don't go treble 13 here. That was the right call, going 19s first. But misses the big 20. And also misses the big 19. Just a bit too
Desi, you
ragged.
require 36.
So double 18 for Mercer to move ahead in the set. Can she?
18.
Clip the wire with the final dart.
Vicky, you require 56.
Choices now for Pruim. It usually would be 16 for tops.
Just go for the big 16 here. That's a lovely single. Tops.
Game show
Really
the third
clinical,
leg.
and she's
Vicky
now
Pruim.
within one of the match. A couple of really loose ones in her previous visit.
Fourth leg, Desi
But
to
it was some
throw
really
first.
good decisive stuff
Game
at the
on.
end of that third leg.
And Batman's back. And
Does
the
he know about
Joker.
Superman? No.
Yeah, Superman seems to have disappeared quickly.
That's what he does. Speed of a bullet, right?
Well, Mercer may need some help from him
100.
after missing the opportunity to lead. She's going to have to hold and then break in a deciding leg in which Pruim would be throwing to win the match.
100.
Always amazed me in the movies that most superheroes were American. Incredible, eh? At least Thor was Scandinavian.
Where do you want them to be from?
Scandinavia, of course. Got a Swedish player in this
60.
game, or maybe a Kiwi flash. 2 thumbs up for that.
As quick as a flash.
What you didn't see was he went to the bathroom and came back
45.
in that same frame. That's how quick the flash is.
He went to the bathroom dressed as Superman. All good fun at the Lakeside.
Steady from Desi. Which he needs to find 2 straight, otherwise it's all the way back to New Zealand with only a tale to tell.
60.
Yeah, an experienced player, but one making a debut here. And for a lot of the players, it is all about saying, I've played at the Lakeside. But once you're here, of course, you want to stay a bit longer. You want to win.
85.
I remember when Carol Forward from Australia made her debut here, and she came all the way back to Melbourne, and she was telling stories about who she'd met and who she played and
41.
the experience of being here. That's what it is for some people. And of course, we will see Veronika Ihas later. Lots of Hungarian representation here in support.
Well, Mercer still scrapping
60.
away in this one. She's down to a finish after 15 darts thrown in this leg.
42.
Still advantage New Zealand right now.
Desi require
Could well be going
136.
to the last leg decider for a second straight set. That's really good. Try and do what Ryan de Vrede did to finish his match. He found a 136. Desi's not gonna. Well, she does find a lovely
96.
approach.
Can Pruim pressurise? She's going to.
95.
Could have been better.
Desi require 40.
She does leave herself a potential match-winning checkout if Mercer misses 3 at tops. If she misses 2 at 10s. If she misses 1 at 5s. And Mercer
35.
misses a lot. And now Pruim is at match point.
Vicky require
That wasn't merciless,
118.
it was merciful. Can this 118 be fulfilled? With 60 and double 19.
58.
60 left, and we know that 5
Desi
is tricky.
require 5.
Yeah, don't hit the 20 nor the 18. Just get the 1. She's done that. Double 2.
Game
She
show on
gets
the
that as
floor.
well.
Desi Mercer.
Desi
Fifth
keeps
leg, Vicky to
fighting.
throw first.
For the
Game on.
second set on the spin, we go the distance. Will the match go the distance? Mercer must break.
Good sign for Pruim at the start here. First start 60.
100.
And if you'd have offered her a ton, she would have taken it. That's what she gets. But maybe it's a disappointing one in the end because that first start was so good.
Yeah, I think at this stage of the match, any treble is,
55.
well, any big treble is like digging for gold, isn't it?
Well, that's what it is at this stage of a match. One treble per visit at this
60.
level is good. Get yourself down to a double, maybe after 15 darts. And based on the standard of this match, that would be good enough.
We've seen 20 scores of more than 100 between the pair of them.
75.
That's the second time she's had the point hit her metallic stem and fall on the floor. That's really unfortunate. Running repairs for Desi Mercer. As Vicky Pruim again finds that first dart
100.
and finds another ton.
It does seem to be something of a deciding leg merchant, doesn't she? Seems
28.
to play her best stuff in the heat of the battle. Not a bad habit to have.
Not at all. As long as you're picking off sets. Doesn't matter by which margin. Again, she's found a ton, but this one for me was better. That second dart was really great. 141 and a gap of 202 points.
Mercer was left sitting on 78 when Pruim won the first set in the last leg. She'll be on a huge
51.
finish, if a finish at all, if Pruim can finish it off with 90 when she returns.
It does depend on what Desi does here as to where Pruim goes for the 90, and things are changing.
121.
Maybe not as much as they should have.
90.
Is it 20s?
It's double 15.
60.
Just a bit too defensive.
Desi require
Thinking
122.
don't hit the single 15. And now she has a quandary if she comes back. It was a great approach from Desi. She's only got treble 18 and bull left to to save her skin, she now has to rely on more misses for the match by Pruim. Remember earlier, it was 12 misses before the lucky 13th dart to get the win for Tori Kewish earlier. Pruim does not want to go down that avenue.
Well, that was an excellent pressurising setup last start there from her opponent. Can't go inside, goes in the double, and for the second set she wins in the deciding leg.